Straight off the bat, like I wasn't familiar with the team Pengu Squad, but I've been going through their profiles, and most of them they seem to be flex players. Like you'll see on one season they'll be playing support, tank, and then even DPS. So it's very unpredictable the kind of lineup that could come out of these teams or anyone that could stand out in particular. But Team Makeway, their standout player in my opinion is Truth. He can play any role and he would still outstand in any department. So expect a lot of good plays to come out of him.
All right, so we were kind of just playing this by ear a little bit. We wanted to make sure that the ping was going to be good for teams, and it looks like everybody is good to play because, you know, of course, with me being East Coast and NA, and then you actually being in West Coast, if I'm not mistaken, as well, we just wanted to make sure that teams were going to be able to have the right ping coming into this. So luckily, it's not going to be too hard. We didn't have to like join the match, you know, later to kind of force ping to be over to the Singapore servers I know that they were looking at, so that's good for us. That means that we're going to have smooth transitions between games and shouldn't have too long of breaks either, so this should be smooth sailing for all you guys watching, and definitely looking forward to this. It seems like we're going to be starting here off on Lijiang Tower. Any thoughts, depending, I mean, do any teams do you think stand out, you know, with their comps in particular, anything like that here on Lijiang Tower?
I think Team Makeway could stand out because they have very high skilled DPS players despite the lineups they run. So you see all of them doing work on the team, but it's very unpredictable with the Pengu Squad because you see them running a Fire Mercy as well as one projectile DPS. And there's the first pick coming out of Gordon on the Genji.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking for some good Genji play. We already saw him opening up there, just jumping right onto these guys. They already have a couple of kills. They've worked these guys back. As soon as his control point unlocks in a couple of seconds here, they'll have a huge advantage. They should be able to just walk onto it as they are doing right now on screen. And, you know, they have this Pharah as well to provide a little bit of oversight. And it's definitely working out well for them so far.
Yeah, with the Mercy pocketing the Pharah, it's going to be really hard for the Soldier to take her down. So there's not a lot of, what do you say, a lot of line of sight for the Soldier to even take down any of the Pharah or Mercy.
Oh man, and that's going to be Bubble Kitty coming alive right there. Already breaking out an ultimate, coming through with the barrage, and that kind of saves them a little bit, slows down the pace of this engagement because they were definitely getting a wipe for a second there. We did actually see the red team over here. That's going to be Makeway, and they were just kind of using the line of sight of that lion statue there to kind of make sure that they keep the pressure off of themselves from Bubble Kitty.
Melting everyone over there. Just strike after strike. Jesus.
And he is going to solidify yet another one onto the Tracer. That's going to be Method going down. They're sitting already here, TBM, at 45%. We see a lot of ults charging up already for Pengu Squad, but a big thing to take note of is that Makeway isn't too far behind. They already have the Graviton. They have the Pulse Bomb to combo with it if they want that quick wipe, but they need these guys to group up, and that's going to be the sword getting unleashed
already. Didn't really see the Gravitons I was working on for their team, as they did not really focus targets well because the entire Pengu Squad was spread out, so it was more of a what do you say, do or die kind of Graviton search. So not really much improvisation on that.
I mean, at this point, Makeway really kind of needed something to come out of that. I'm not sure if the Pulse Bomb got eaten up actually from Method by Ziggy there or what, because we didn't see much effect from it. I mean, they really didn't get too many people with the Graviton anyways, but Ziggy's going to be forced to pull in to try to deal with this Tracer, and Spartacus already finding a kill as Gordon actually gets eliminated. He was already doing a lot of work in the last fight, so they really need him in this next one if he can come back from spawn quick enough to get back in here and have some presence.
So the Transit is going off to block out most of the rocket barrage, but Zarya gets killed. On there with the res, you see Diva and Farah getting res over there.
Pharah coming alive. Asher gonna get eliminated as Bubble Kitty is making up for Gordon having to come off of that respawn. Soldier not able to deal with him at all in the sky as he finds yet another. That will be Method trying to stay alive in the corner there as Bubble Kitty is going almost uncontested. Method falls. Imminence looking like he's gonna get pressured down too, but luckily saved by the Zarya for the time being, and they do find that kill. In overtime, it looks like they might actually get this flip finally here.
Maybe not for long. You see the Winston and Mercy come back to the point. There goes down to Lucio.
Oh man, Spartacus right now trying to get some of that energy back so he can get that ult back up, because they need a lot of these really, really strong wipe potential ults to come in if they want to be able to hold this one out, because they have an uphill battle here, TBM. I mean, they have to hold this out for the rest of the match if they want to be able to take this win.
Yeah, you see them coming up with the North Shadow and a possible Graviton Surge. You know, if they play their cards right, you see the Dragon Blade coming up on the side of the Pengu Skuad as well as the Sound Barrier. Power is not too far behind on the ultimate, so they could really pull out some neat stuff over if they play their cards right.
Definitely looking for Spartacus to try to get these Gravitons. He needs to probably get about 2 before the match is even over, which is going to be really tough because he doesn't really have the energy level right now. Now he's getting pressured a little bit, needs to deal with Gordon, actually finds the kill! There's the Graviton coming out. D.Va going to be blocking some of that pressure out, and that's going to be the Lucio out coming out as well from Ziyu. And Ziyu now actually getting pressured down. All the shield goes away because of that pulse bomb that Method put out, and it looks like they're going to be holding on. They're at 50% right now, TBM. Are they going to be able to hold this?
I don't really know unless they focus targets, because they don't seem to be doing that, but Pengu Skuad just bringing it back heavy without any ultimates to spare.
They had great defensive measures going out there as well. Bubble Kitty, of course, coming through with a couple of kills, but it just came down to the fact that they were able to deal with Mioken and get that that tactical visor out of the way, and then finally being able to deal with Method, who, you know, towards the latter end of that first map there on Night Market, I mean, he was definitely putting in a lot of work. All right, moving now into Garden. I mean, we already saw Pengu Skuad here taking a first round. Do you imagine that they're going to be able to kind of clean sweep this map out and move on to a second map, or do you think that we're going to be seeing some contention here on this second map?
They're going to have to switch out the Zarya since she's not able to build up much charge from most of her teammates. So I'm guessing if they do something like that, they could, you know, take down the Fire Mercy if they, say, run a double hit scan or something, but I don't see that happening for now.
Alright, of course, that second map will be Dorado that we will go to next, so it will kind of introduce some different dynamics into this match, as it's a very different map style. But Method gonna get taken down immediately as Bubble Kitty actually was blue beamed up and just completely murdered him out. Now we will see as well Bubble Kitty just going through. They have that advantage looking for the Zarya kill as he's gotten very, very low here. They're kind of low themselves though, so they need to be kind of careful. Bubble Kitty with another kill. That's going to be onto the Reinhardt, and that gives them a lot of space to work with here, TBM, so that they can once again claim very early on the control point here. I mean, what do you kind of make of this? I mean, it is once again going to be Pengu Skuad just moving right in, and it looks as though they have set themselves up to be, I mean, they look very dominant, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I'd say they're catching Team Makeway in very close and convoluted spaces, so they're not finding any space to push, and they just see themselves being taken down. Okay, they're calling in for the pause there. I'm assuming we should pause this right now.
I'm wondering if the admin is seeing this. Unfortunately, we have no control over that. Not really sure if the admin is going to see that. I hope he does see that. I'll send him a message real quick. Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. We did see it, so that's good. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have the control over that, so just have to wait on the admins, and think he was just a momentary lapse there. But nonetheless, right now we're sitting at 38% to 0. They already are up 1-0 on the map, and I believe this is a best of 5 if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, looking very good right now to set themselves up. But, I mean, obviously that this is pretty standard for a King of the Hill setup. I mean, if you win that first fight, you set yourself up very nicely for the next one. You get that ult charge a little bit, you know, further along than your opposition, as you were able to close that fight out successfully. And now you can see the results of that with Gordon, Bubble Kitty, Sogi King as well. Am I pronouncing that right? How do you pronounce that Mercy's name on Pengu Skuad?
I think it would be, you would pronounce it So King.
So King?
Yeah, So King, yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, with the Mercy as well as the Winston, they have the Lucio ult coming up as well. I mean, the only thing that they don't really have is Ziggy, and he's not necessary to have, I would say, and for a lot of these combinations. You don't have the Reinhardt to knock them down, so that kind of ult is just going to be used, I imagine, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, to kind of stall out when necessary, maybe kind of create isolation by getting those guys to spread out to try to get away from it, and then, you know, Gordon and Bubble Kitty can go around and find those picks in ISO. But, you know, on the other side of things, the closest thing that they have really is the res. So maybe they can, you know, make a play off of that. Eminence coming through and, you know, getting a nice res off of 2 or 3 ults expended, you know, unnecessarily, I guess you could say, on Pengu Squad's part. But Pengu Skuad looks incredible right now, and he's just going to...
being taken out first. So wow. Incredible vibe.
And Eminence. That's...
is on.
Yeah, big pickup, though, to find the Mercy kill as well, because, again, that's what we were just talking about. You know, having that Resurrect available, that could definitely be a tide turner, and pulling out, you know, Gordon's ult, maybe get a res off of that, maybe try to turn the tides, but, you know, they don't have Asher with the sound barrier at all, so, I mean, they really wouldn't have been able to get much done with it. So even if they get a res at this point, it's still going to be rough for them to try to turn that fight back around. And that's going to be Truth falling out. So now, again, another 6v5 situation, and Pengu Skuad have just been murdering them. Oh, man. Oh, man. Despite the fact that Spartacus had a pretty nice setup there with the Graviton, I mean, that was Bubble Kitty with the barrage actually coming through, because they, again, already had that advantage, and he just walked into the backside and just barraged all of them down. And now look at this. They're TBM. They're spawn camping them.
Wow, this is just insult to injury, man. Like, I was expecting a lot of work from Makeway, but it doesn't seem like they got their things together. I mean, if they switched off the Zarya a bit earlier for the D.Va, they might have been able to have some sort of opening, because the Zarya wasn't building any sort of charge, because her teammates just kept dying one after another. So it rendered her completely useless, and they just had one grab themselves that entire round.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree. D.Va certainly, you know, one of the better options to try to deal with a Pharah, especially one that's just, you know, lighting the scoreboard up like Bubble Kitty has been. It looks like they're going to be making a couple of changes, though. Eminence right now going to be the solo healer at the moment. I mean, we'll have to see if we have... Okay, so Asher actually is going to be... I mean, he was the Lucio player, now going to be actually on the McCree here to try to deal with Bubble Kitty. But, I mean, I'm not sure that they know that Bubble Kitty is going to actually be switching over to that Tracer. Of course, this map certainly favors that swap, and I mean, again, it just seems like Pengu Skuad just a step ahead of the competition at the moment.
Very interesting to see how the Reaper's gonna play in all this.
Yeah, with those new changes, certainly could be a big deal.
First one to go down, and after that, most likely to win. So nobody escapes to the top. Good plays over there. Asher, the second one to go down to Tracer. This Tracer is just doing work on their support and DPS. It's all on her own. Wow, and another incredible pushback by Pengu Skuad.
I mean, you have to...
taking them right to their spawn.
Again, yeah, I mean, it's the same exact thing that we saw last time. It's just this domination, and I think a lot of this, honestly, TVM, is just... You know, because of the fact that they have such tight control over where they are, you know, you look at the way that they just aggressed onto that point and the way that they just kind of approached that fight, went from target to target, and they're doing the exact same thing again. I mean, you see the red team coming in, they just get spread out. Ziggy just isolating Asher in the back, has a Discord on him, so now he's going to get forced to get pressured back, and it's just really clean fighting style, actually, from the blue side, from Pengu Skuad here.
You don't really see them focusing targets, but each one of them as individuals is doing so much damage work on the enemy team. It's insane.
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not sure if Ziggy actually ate that up or if just nobody took damage from it. But the pulse bomb going out from Method finds nothing. Luckily for them, Myoken is going to be able to find an opening kill, getting close to his ult there. That's going to be a big pickup potentially, as Ziggy actually getting down and actually taken out of the mech, so no defense matrix at all to try to eat that up, but he gets killed off as Bubble Kitty finds that frag. Again, it seems as though Pengu Skuad might be able to hold this out, but that's going to be...
Deadeye going off. Asher not able to find anything. Transcendence going off on Pengu Skuad. Oh, despite losing 3, they're still able to hold their ground. This is very interesting plays coming out from Pengu Skuad.
I mean, what do you make of the Spartacus finding a kill? They've been able to find these kills, and again, that's going to be just that stall-out ult there from Ziggy, pulling out the self-destruct. But Bubble Kitty has just been able to find so much space, and he's been able to get kill after kill after kill, and they've been pushed back time and time again. I mean, no ground to be found at all for Make Way. Pengu Skuad just halts them in their tracks. But here's an opportunity. I mean, wouldn't you say, with Ziggy actually getting demeched there, they could jump in here. They have a lot of ults. Asher getting taken down pretty low, but they don't even get on the point, TVM.
Wow. That really turned out differently than what I thought it would be. I'm assuming Pengu Squad's a new team in this tournament, and they have just proven that they are a force to be reckoned with. And now we have your Bubble Kitty, who's just been killing it all game with the play of the match.
Yeah, this guy has been on fire. I mean, we've seen a couple of, you know, a couple of times we actually saw Gordon just slicing through them, and I remember you actually pulling through when I was talking. You just like lost your mind and had to come through and everything because, I mean, that man was on fire himself, especially over there on Night Market. But you know, throughout that entire series, Bubble Kitty definitely is a standout to me. I mean, is that someone that you've seen before? I mean, do you know anything about this guy? I mean, because out of nowhere.
Yeah, just,
man, but
I mean, you look at his competitive stats. He's been playing mostly support, tank, but now you see him just doing work on DPS, and it's not just any basic game. These guys are the toughest in the country as far as I've seen in previous tournaments.
yeah,
With Team Makeway. So it's really too much of a landslide that's been of this match, more than I expected.
so now moving over to Dorado.
First match of the again against the first match of the day. So I mean, for all you know, Makeway could just be warming up.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a different map style as well that we're going to be going up into next as well with Dorado. So let these guys know that we're ready to go. But with Dorado, I mean, do you imagine that anything is going to be changed up? Do you think that Makeway has a little bit more of a chance on the style of map that we're going to be going on, and maybe King of the Hill just wasn't their map style, and maybe Pengu Skuad is just really, really strong at that? I mean, obviously they had a really good comp for it, you know, running stuff like the Zenyatta, running that dive comp that, you know, we see work in other regions. Obviously, from region to region, things can change in terms of the meta that we see, but it is a traditional style that we saw from Pengu Skuad. They looked holistically very strong on King of the Hill, but I mean, do you think Makeway has a little bit better of a chance here going into this next map, or?
See, despite comps being the major point of view, it all comes down to mechanical skills. Like, you'll have good comps being chosen, but they're just not able to do well enough. Maybe because the mechanical skills aren't good enough, and Pengu Skuad has just proven that this entire match. Not giving any chance to Makeway to find any sort of openings. That entire game, Urix. Not once were they able to hold the point all the way to the end, despite having to have so many switch-ups in their comp.
Yeah, there was two.
But I feel it could have been an off call from the side of Makeway, because that Zarya pick came, I mean, the Zarya change came out really late, when it's something they should have done earlier in order to counter that Pharah Mercy.
Yeah, they had the other pieces of the puzzle, but not the D.Va, and it seemed like they were struggling on the ground game as well, even with the Zarya, and the D.Va certainly would have given them a lot of space to work with. And it seems as though 3 people are on 180 ping. Not sure why. I mean, I have the same ping, so I think we're on the same server as the last time, but I could be horrifically mistaken.
Yeah, because very congested region, the Southeast Asian, so is like, I mean, I've had my moments being there in India. Like, it's hell here. The connection, it's hell over there.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Yeah,
I was getting like the same connection, but the other players won't be getting the same, despite being in the same lobby, because of the many routing issues that happen in that side of the world.
Oh man, everybody throwing shade over at Method right now. Man, sitting on a bunch of levels, obviously playing a lot of games, but I have the same ping again. I'm not really sure if maybe restarting maybe helps them out or what. Hopefully it does, so we can get into the next map. We'll have to see.
I mean, as far as I've seen, it usually does.
That's so crazy too, because I mean, it looks like we're going to the same servers, and now they're saying that it's going up to 200. So I don't know. I mean, worst case scenario, we can drop out. Obviously, we're from NA, so maybe we you know, pull over. But I mean, exactly. I mean, the admin actually is saying the same thing. He has the same ping, but he's over in India though, isn't he? I think I remember him saying that he was. So if he's having good ping, then I wonder if it's just maybe on their side. But this is just the nature, I mean, of doing a tournament outside of the standard regions. It's hard to get these servers right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they have to just keep going again and again till everyone, not just like one person, everyone has the perfect connection that they need. I just hope we are not being an influence to that.
Well, I mean, the fact that everybody else has the same ping and it's just 3 players kind of spiking up. I wonder if maybe if it's just on like on their end or something. I mean, I don't really know because I don't really know how the routing works and everything like that.
Because you might have a few players who are actually playing together from the same place, whereas others are playing from a different region, because all these teams and their players are not from the same cities or regions. So yeah, definitely gonna be expecting some connection issues over there.
Alright, so it looks like we're going to be playing it through. I'm not sure if they're having any issues or anything. Bubble Kitty looks like he's having some good use of teleports there, so he's not lagging too bad to be able to not control his character. And we're going to be seeing him on the Tracer instead of the Pharah here for the defensive side. They're holding very aggressively here, TBM. Other than that, it looks like the same comp that they used in the map.
It's a very interesting comp they're deciding to run on defense.
Well, I mean, it is kind of a standard dive, like a standard dive defense. I mean, in the West, this is what I would consider to be fairly popular, actually. I mean, they have the D.Va, they have, you know, just a standard 2-2-2 dive defense running with Zenyatta as opposed to the Ana that you might see. But other than that, running Tracer Genji, that's fairly standard for a Western-style comp, at least. So nothing out of the ordinary from my perspective as someone who doesn't really watch this, this region at all.
Well, it's really nice to see players in India and the Indian subcontinent pulling out these kind of compositions, because I've rarely ever seen this happen, and it just kind of shows that the scene is developing in some way and they're open to trying anything other than a standard triple tank comp or just a double hit scan. So seeing a dive on both defense and attack is quite interesting, because again, it all comes out of mechanical skills over here.
And
they see who the better players are.
They do make a switch. Bubble Kitty actually going from Tracer over to Soldier to try to deal with that Pharah. I don't think that they expected them to pull that out on the attack. So now they're going to have that that triple threat of the D.Va, Zenyatta, and Soldier to try to deal with Method here in the skies. But I fear that at this point, it's too hard for them to actually turn this back around, because certainly momentum definitely favors Make Way, as they have made their own way right into that first objective. 5:22 on the clock. That's going to be their time, as they basically just walked it through.
And you see the DPS doing a lot of work. Despite not having a Mercy to back that part up, she's really dishing out a lot of damage. So I'm assuming it's all coming down to good communication, because you see Pharah doing damage and Miokin on the Tracer just coming up and getting those kills, not allowing them to even get back to the point to defend it.
Definitely looking for some ultimates to be used here, as the attacking side has definitely given themselves a little bit of an advantage. Ziggy going to be trying to deal with these rockets being sent over by Method. He has that barrage ready, but they want to try to de-mech Ziggy if they possibly can to try to reduce that threat of the defense matrix, mitigating some of that damage that could come out.
In order to defend a little bit at this choke over here, but I don't know if you saw that, Urix, but Makeway had used the pulse bomb and the D.Va bomb and couldn't land any kills.
Oh man, looks like they're finally mounting a defense here. I mean, Bubble Kitty got up there pretty aggressively, and that's going to actually be Ziyu pulling out. It's going to be both sides. Eminence actually pulling out a ult of his own. The Sound Barrier coming out from both sides, and pressure coming out onto Bubble Kitty, but he should be able to eliminate the threat that is Truth, and they do find that kill. Miokin now under duress as well, and they should actually demech that D.Va, and it looks like they'll be safe. But man, Asher and Miokin coming through. They're finding 2 kills, and that's going to give them the space that they need to be able to push forward here and give themselves some space. Barrage coming out as well from Method. Only finds 1, but that's going to be able to find the Zenyatta, and I mean, they've really made this look easy here on attack. They've already gotten to this second objective. They have 5 minutes over that again, as again, Miokin going to be able to pressure those 2 DPS players once again as they just try to create some space for themselves.
Really impressive plays coming out from Makeway. Pengu Skuad not being able to keep up, because you see them switching out their comps so much, but nothing really seems to be working. I mean, that Pharah is going uncontested the entire time, so I don't really know what their plan is now. I mean, they look strong in the previous game, but then I guess it all comes down to mode. Everyone has like a specific mode that they're great on.
Yeah, and
so really interesting to see if Makeway is gonna bring this back. Seems like they are for now. I mean, you see a Tracer going on a Mercy that's in the air. Where do you even see that happen here?
I mean, well, here's the thing. by going with this double hit scan DPS setup that they've gotten, Bubble Kitty and Gordon here are both on Soldier and McCree respectively. I mean, that's going to be able to deal with Method on that Pharah, and it's going to force him to swap. He actually just made that swap there over to Zarya, so they're going to be running triple tank, still with a dive though, but that's going to be able to support Truth, so he can become very aggressive now to try to, you know, push them forward. Miokin can dive alongside him, and they'll have a lot of support for that. Now that's going to be Bubble Kitty swapping over, and he's going to actually go over to the Pharah himself, a character that he really shined on in King of the Hill, but they are definitely pressed for time here. 3:43 on the clock that they have to defend. Certainly not looking good for them, as Sogeking actually going to be dropping as well, but man, Truth fell quick there to Gordon.
See, Transcendence coming out in response to that nano boost onto the Reinhardt over there. Pulse Bomb not doing anything. And they're still holding their ground somehow, despite all the ultimates being dissed out on the side of Makeway, but they're still able to hold their ground.
Oh, Method. Oh, what a body shot! Down. Man, Bubble Kitty is insane on the Pharah, man. He has been absolutely lights out so far. And these fights have been dragged out quite a long time. Pengu Skuad definitely know how to
stag over here with the D.Va.
You have to wonder if he wants to just put some pressure out, so it forces them to kill him quicker, but he was just sitting there emoting, and that took up precious time. I mean, it really kind of eliminated an extra 10 seconds there, which could very well determine if they make it or not. It could come down to that. Now Gordon here with the Deadeye ready to go up on top, has great positioning behind this Reinhardt shield and nothing to press. I mean, Truth and Spartacus could get aggressive and jump up in his face. Spartacus denying that threat with the defense matrix, but at any point, Duel could just drop him from that high ground and give Gordon, again, that little bit of space that he needs. And, oh man, Asher almost fell. Truth getting very low. If he tries to jump up there now.
Oh, they're actually landing one kill despite the Reinhardt not being there.
Truth trying to make some room for the rest of his team to get through and find some kills, but not going to be able to do anything as he's actually reduced down to about a third HP. And that's going to be Bubble Kitty finding that kill. I think he was actually boosted up by the Mercy there, as that was one body shot that finished the job. And again, now down to 150 on the clock as Pengu Skuad look a lot better in this last section of the map here. And they have a lot to work with for this next fight where I mean, honestly, looking at Makeway, they don't have a lot of options here. They're basically waiting for Transcendence to be able to do anything. They definitely want Tac Visor and Eminence to get his ult, so we're really going to be looking like it's going to be going down to the wire unless they can find themselves some picks here.
I mean, anything is really possible, but you see Miokin not able to find any sort of opening. That Pharah is just dishing out damage after damage. Despite they're trying to play aggressive here, but they're really not able to find any openings. They have 5 ultimate. Oh wow, the Earth Shatter going out with the nano boost under the Reinhardt. Ana's down, so that could really make a big change to the fight. Two taking down Gordon over here. Oh, the rest coming out, rezzing both Ana and the D.Va.
Yeah, I mean, good res there for sure, and that definitely looks like it's going to allow them to stall out, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough for them to actually hold this fight out. And now it's getting close to that point. I mean, Method sitting on this Graviton, he's going to have to walk all the way back.
Nice shutdown by the Soldier onto the McCree. Incredible plays over there.
Oh man, Makeway actually finding themselves a couple of kills.
Kill onto the rider, just the D.Va left. She's out of the mech. Looks like they are gonna take this point with 24 seconds to spare. What are your thoughts on that, Urix?
Well, I mean, the first 2 points obviously looked a lot better there for Makeway. Definitely can say that without a doubt. That they definitely looked a lot stronger there. But at the same time, I mean, really good performance from Pengu Skuad at that last kind of section of the map to be able to you know, slow them down a lot, bring it back. You know, 24 seconds is a very, very beatable time here on Dorado. And I mean, if we're seeing some dominance like we saw at the end, or perhaps even more closely relative to what we saw on King of the Hill, then this could very well be a tremendous attacking opportunity here for Pengu Skuad, and they can definitely set themselves up nicely for that overtime push with the cart going through in the next stage. But obviously they have to get there first. The first 2 stages looked clean, very clean on the attacking side for the side of Makeway, so they could be halted in their tracks, man. They could definitely be stopped up. But again, 24 seconds is a very beatable time at almost any stage. So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, at the same time, not so surprising if Pengu Squad just brings it back with more time to spare. I mean, Makeway is just only gonna have a minute on that overtime if it goes down to that. But I feel if they play their cards right when it comes to positioning and the comp they've decided to go with, which is a pretty, what do you say, a passive comp, given that they have the soldier, they might just be able to pull this off, even on the first point. Who knows?
all right, so 15 seconds, and then we'll be right underway here. For the attacking side, of course, looking at guys like Bubble Kitty and Gordon to have the same effect that we saw on King of the Hill. Bubble Kitty especially, as he's going to be on that Pharaoh right now, once again boosted. And that was a change that they made for that last stage of the map that definitely looked really, really solid for them. So I think that this is going to be something that we see a lot from them. If they do move on through the latter stages of this tournament, that we'll probably continue to see this. And they already found a kill, and that's going to be the Ana. What a pick, actually. If they can pressure out this soldier a little bit now, I mean, they don't have that same ability to heal out a lot of this pressure that's going to come from Pengu Squad, so they can definitely be a little bit more aggressive now, try to find these picks. And they find the soldier there, and that's going to open up the entire point for them.
Yeah, nothing to honestly deal with this far away. She is just raining hell upon Team Makeway all around on her own.
All right, and that's...
I mean, of course, being pocketed by the Mercy helps, but...
Well, here's what's crazy. I mean, Makeway, despite losing 2 of their players, completely back Pengu Squad out. I mean, now they have Barrage. They can definitely get in there and get aggressive, but once he becomes immobile, he's going to try to pull it out, and that's going to be Asher finding the kill. They eliminate that threat, and Gordon's still trying to make something happen here, but man, the pin comes through, and they're going to find some kills. What a defense from Makeway!
All this Mercy is able to make that res, and she only reses the Winston. Draft on search coming out on the side of Makeway. Not able to find anything except the Helix on the Genji. Man, despite losing their one and only hit scan, they were still able to bring this point back. You see the Zarya high on charge over here.
Well, he's getting...
Team Makeway really making a statement over here.
Yeah, he was getting pressured out a little bit there. I mean, Duel definitely wanted to be able to find that kill. That was what he was looking for, to try to reduce the threat of that high energy Zarya, who had obviously a high impact along with it. But Pengu Squad, again, just that first phase of the map, which on the attacking side, you know, definitely looked like Makeway was the stronger team. But this time around, it's looking like that's going to be, you know, something that carries over onto their defense too, because they were just able to get back from spawn so cleanly, so effectively, hold out, just kind of stall the point long enough for them to get their respawns and just hold out long enough to be able to find those kills over time. But the Blade going to be unleashed, and that's going to be against the soldier, but they find the kill!
Well, Shadow going down, you just see the Diva getting stunned, but it looks like... yeah, it looks like Pengu Squad is going to be making the rest of this push as they take the first point over there.
And
really doing solid work on their team.
So what kind of things do you think will change here? I mean, obviously the defense working so far for Makeway. I mean, they definitely want to reduce as much time as possible in every stage of the map, or at least in the third stage, like we saw with Pengu Squad, where they can, you know, reduce that time down to something similar to what they got. Pengu Squad definitely gave themselves a lot of room to work with, but I mean, do you think any changes are going to happen on either side, and anybody looking like they want to make an adjustment at all?
I mean, not really, because they seem to be holding their ground. I think it just came out of the ultimates both teams had to spare, which helped Makeway get the point. But I feel if, you know, they play close to their Reinhardt, they might still be able to do this, but that proving completely useless as we see the team wipe from Pengu Squad, still being able to push this point strong.
Yeah, Miyoken does take out Duel, so now, luckily for them, they will have a little bit of a spawn advantage trying to get their whole team back, but they will have to press up and get in there, as obviously Duel going to have to come back from spawn. Not going to be able to have that help from Zio as well, because the rest of his team is in a fight, but that's going to be the Blade coming out once again already from Gordon, going to be pushed around and actually eliminated there by Miyoken.
He's being shut down over here. Res coming out of the Genji and the Lucio, and the power goes down to Zarya.
That was a good res there to try to keep them back in the game, but Miokin actually going to be boosted up, and they actually get the tac visor out as well as he's looking for some kills, trying to clean everything back up. Is pressured, but Duel goes down once again, and he's looking for the mercy kill just to solidify everything, try to get him killed off. Method gonna be the one.
Good kill on the Genji on the Ana, despite all the enemies being there, he's still able to find a kill onto the support. This Genji really going in deep and doing his work over there.
The unfortunate fact of the matter, though, is that, you know, with the respawns the way they are, that Ana's going to be able to get back, and, you know, it's not like he's sitting on an ult or anything, so they don't really need him to be in this fight early. As long as he comes through and gets good positioning later on, should be fine. So really, I mean, while Gordon is doing a fantastic job, that late kill, unfortunately for them, won't really amount to anything. Now they're going to get back into position, but Duel, I think, you know, dying off before that fight started really set them back. Now he's going to get aggressive, already reduced down to half HP as he's getting pressured once again, and he should be killed off very early here, and is indeed.
Getting by the Genji. See Farah getting a kill onto the soldier with the help of the Mercy there with the damage boost.
Oh, that's going to be the pin down coming out from Truth as he hammers away. Looking for an... Oh, actually takes himself off the map, and Ziggy on the D.Va just finds his way back up.
Does he find anything? Yes, he finds Zari over here.
Oh, that's really unfortunate for Truth there.
Cool play there from the D.Va.
Yeah, just soaking that up. I mean, honestly, I think that was a little bit more of a misplay from Reinhardt than anything, but they actually do indeed demech that D.Va there. That's going to be Spartacus. But Truth coming back in, pressured out. It looks as though Pengu Skuad should be able to pull this one out. They just have a couple of kills that they need to find for themselves. And again, Make Way just so good at stalling these stages of the map out. They finally get through, just under 2 minutes left in the map now. And you have to look at the timers that we saw happen for the other team from Make Way at 24 seconds. I mean, certainly it could still be beatable, but they literally have to just win, you know, 2 fights in a row to be able to make that happen. At this stage, it seems as though it's going to be an overtime finish if they finish at all.
And really coming out of the wire, you see the possibility of a Nano Blade being used. Farah coming up with her ultimate, Winston on his primal rage, and you have Mercy with her res. Whereas on the side of Make Way, you just have 3 ultimates that are coming up. So they're really going to have to play their cards right if they want to hold their ground over here.
Alright, we're looking for that blade to come out. Definitely looking for the nano boost. Gets it. Goes right to the back. Doesn't get slept, so he actually should be able to pressure out this soldier as well, and actually does find both of those kills. Looking for Method as Bubble Kitty finds a couple of kills with the barrage, but here's the thing. They don't have a lot of options here from now on. If they take a late kill on the Truth, that's going to be great for them, and they do. Now they have the res, they have the self-destruct as well to put it in that doorway just to make sure that they don't get onto the point. They're already putting pressure, they find the kill on the soldier. Gordon, what kind of man are you? Eminence very low as well, and it looks like Pengu Skuad should be able to solidify this fight here. That's the self-destruct coming out, and he sends it over the wall. That's not going to have anything. I mean, that's really not going to have any kind of presence on the point at all. Truth going to be eliminated. Miokin going to be pressured once again. As long as Pengu Skuad can have their sustain here, Sogeking needs to get these end one frames that he can, but no one to res. That means he's not going to be able to pull that out, and he drops. They need him in this fight to be able to hold on, but they're not going to have him at all. D.Va going to be demeched, looking for the kill off on the pilot, and really, again, this stall has been huge for the side of Make Way, and if they continue to stall this out, oh man, TBM, if they continue to stall this out, somehow they might be able to pull this out, but they have to keep Truth alive, and he's getting aggressive in the sky. Bubble Kitty. Oh man. Do you think they have it? Do you think they have it here?
I mean, they might. I mean, you see the Reaper pick come out. He's just gonna keep rehealing himself if he gets the damage done, but Farah taking on all 2 of them. You see the Genji being rezzed away out. All they need to do is take down this D.Va and Lucio, and they got the point. But the spawn's really working over here. Having to see every player from Make Way just being able to make it back to the point somehow. This is really crazy what you see happening over here.
And they're still stalling this out.
And they finally get the point.
Oh man, I mean, Pengu was looking incredibly solid in that last stage, but man, again, just the stall at every stage of the map. Really, really good stuff from Make Way to make sure that they, you know, maintained their composure and took so much time off the clock. And again, it happened at every stage. Remember, when, you know, Pengu started off their attack. They were able to find those 2 picks, and still Makeway was able to come back into that fight from their respawns and get back and get active in that engagement. And they were able to hold off on that first point and take a little bit of time extra off the clock afterwards. Second stage was very, very similar, able to kind of stall out, get a little bit of extra time off the clock again, and that last stage was probably their most effective use of the stall out tactic. Again, Respawn definitely favoring them the most there, so it's definitely the strongest part. Yeah, I mean, really good stuff from Makeway. Their defense looked really, really solid here. But it's going to be Pengu Skuad up first on the attack. We're going to be seeing them go once again as they have the lesser amount of time as they went into overtime. And I think you should be loud enough. If I got chat open right now, let me know what you guys think. Is TBM good sound, or maybe needs to be turned up, or what? Let me know. I'm watching the chat. But what do you think, TBM? Do you think you want to make it a prediction here? Who do you have for this one?
I think Makeway's got this. If they just put in a little more effort, they would have been able to hold that point entirely. I mean, last minute anything can happen. So obviously it was the last second desperation. I mean, if Pengu Skuad didn't get that point, they would have lost the game. So they did whatever they could. But I think if Makeway got a pretty good starting to this point over here, they might just be able to hold it once they build up that momentum over there.
All right, so we see Bubble Kitty boosted up here. They have a lot of options. They don't have the Zenyatta necessarily to deal with Bubble Kitty, but already Truth taken down very low. They find the kill. This is the opening pick that they want. Eminent's going to fall as well. So again, an opportunity here. Can they actually make it work for them? They find yet another kill. This one seems to be looking a lot better than that first push that we saw the last time around, and they should be able to put pressure onto this Ana. Late kill onto him. They're going to be able to walk right into this first objective, and it will get into that overtime stage in just 3 seconds. So now they're going to have to stay on the point. There's the rest of the map, or it will be over, and they will go over to their defensive side. TBM, you want to maybe switch things around here, or do you think that they will be able to make that hold? Oh, what a pick coming out again!
They still keep this going despite having... You know what I find really interesting? Despite running a dive comp, they're still able to do so much work despite having to stick with that payload over there.
I mean, what do you make of Bubble Kitty right now? Again, I mean, on King of the Hill, he was insane, but that is mostly because he was virtually uncontested. And again here, it seems like nobody's really looking at him because there's just so many other threats. I mean, obviously they have the pieces to deal with them, but Duel and Gordon have been exceptional so far in this attacking phase here in overtime. Barrage at the ready. We see the Nano Boost at the ready with the Blade, so a lot of options for the attacking side. They're really falling behind a defense here. Makeway.
Nano Blade comes and goes in straight for that soldier over there. Gonna get him. Zarya going down. Looks like they might just be able to get this point again, and they do!
Oh, man.
Be contested.
Gordon has been insane. I mean, he actually, he went through, wasn't able to find the kill onto Asher initially, but we saw Truth trying to finish him off with the Fire Strike, and he reflected it, found a ton of damage, found a kill, and then just dove right back in and found himself a double kill. And now they're sitting on 5 points, still in overtime, going into the last stage of the map. And Pengu Skuad, who, were a little bit slower the first time around, here in overtime have been insane. I mean, this looks like almost like a different team entirely. Everybody is working, everything is working on all cylinders here, and Miokin gonna be taken out again. Oh, the barrage eaten up there by the shield. Bubble Kitty gonna fall. Oh, Rez getting set up here. We'll have to see. He actually gets. Oh man.
Sound barrier goes off, so it's gonna be really interesting to see how this works out. Farah on the lower ground now.
Really
on the low ground now. Gets taken down over there.
That was actually such good spacing there from Duel, who was just kind of staying away from that Reinhardt just enough to make sure that he was able to stay alive, put out some pressure, just keep him knocked back in that corner, and they find yet another kill. It doesn't look like we're going to be seeing Pengu Skuad hold on to that. He has the Dragon Blade. They do find the kill on the soldier who was ulting, though. They have to stay on the point. Oh, they need a healer, though, here for Gordon, and he's going to get taken out there by Spartacus, though, as it looks like Spartacus might be able to help the rest of his team mount just enough of a defense for them to back these guys up off the point. Still in overtime right now as Bubble Kitty trying to hold on to it for his team as it gets, as it just goes longer and longer into the map. Obviously, this overtime going to tick off very quickly. If they ever jump off this point, it will be over. Oh, desperate.
And Dragon Blade coming off. They're still able to hold this despite having one player to spare each single time with his spawn over here.
Oh man, they killed off the tanks there. Method and Truth going to be eliminated as Spartacus is the only tank left, and they have to find this kill if they possibly can.
So no more recall. She's going to be taken down over there.
Oh.
Finally take these guys off the point. What are your thoughts there, Helix?
Man. Well, I mean, definitely got a lot more.
They really have a lot to live up to over here.
Oh,
they
yeah.
gotta push this point all the way to the end.
Yeah, they basically have to finish the map here through overtime, because after you get to that first point, I mean, obviously they have 24 seconds. So if they walk through like we saw them do, they will have a little bit of extra time, you know, to maybe make a mistake, get a wipe, get a reset going. But once you do that, if they ever die, they will give a little bit of that ult economy back in favor of the defensive side of Pengu Squad. And that's going to hurt them a lot because, I mean, at any point, if they die off after an initial wipe in the first 84 seconds here, you know, that's it. That's done. It's swept. It's over. But so they basically have to win out. They have to take every fight up until that last stage and then continue that pressure, hold that momentum, and try to, you know, push that and snowball it through that final objective and try to take this one. But really, I don't think that Make Way has a. I mean, I don't want to be pessimistic here, TVM. I don't want to be pessimistic, but it seems like Pengu Squad really did a good job of turning that around, and I think that they have set themselves up very nicely to be able to take this map.
Take this game, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't disagree with you, but I guess we don't know how it all comes down to communication, and you see Team Pengu Squad so organized with every single pick of theirs, whereas on the side of Team Makeway, it's more like it's just congested. Like, whatever you see first, let's go for that person. Like, they weren't choosing their targets properly because that Pharah was doing most of the damage throughout, despite having a hit scan and the D.Va on the defense side of Makeway. Still not able to deal with that Pharah the entire game. It was quite surprising to see.
We will see Bubble Kitty just trying to put out some pressure. Method on the Pharah himself as well. And again, they just want to try to take as much time away from you know, Makeway as possible to try to get this match into overtime, so that once they do manage to get their ults, they can go for that clean wipe, get a nice kill set going, and then just take the map. They just want to be able to slow the pace of the game a bit.
Taking down the Reinhardt. Now you see them actually doing work, because they took down the Ana first, then you see all of them focusing the Reinhardt, and now the Pharah. And it seems like they're gonna be taking this point.
Oh man, they weren't able to get onto the point, and that's gonna hurt them. I mean, now Method and Bubble Kitty fighting Pharah v Pharah in the skies. Asher on the Zenyatta gives a little bit of an advantage to Bubble Kitty whenever Bubble Kitty doesn't have the Mercy attached to him. Luckily for him, Sogeking has been all over him, so it really kind of cancels each other out a little bit here. We will see Truth going through, but if he dies off, that's not going to set them up for really any kind of advantage, as where they were looking for the pulse bomb kill. Miokin, I don't think, found anything there at all. And now we will see Bubble Kitty as almost a lone defender here. Ziggy now coming through as well, but they'll have some ultimates to use, and that's what they were looking for. As long as they can get one set of ultimates going, they already demeched and killed off the D.Va. That's going to be huge, because now they can roll in with all of these ultimates and maybe get a wipe. And if they find that it's already in overtime, that'll be the game.
Yeah, just one ultimate on the side. Two ultimates now, in fact, on the side of Mayfield to spare. Three, in fact, now with the Celsius start coming up. Now this Vision gets a kill under the Ana, which he doesn't. It could have been a really nice setup. You see one of the players on the side of Pengu Squad getting disconnected.
Oh, that's their tank. We'll have to see. I mean, Spartacus wasn't in this fight early enough to prevent some of that damage that came out from the DPSs from both Bubble Kitty and Gordon. It doesn't look like they're calling for a pause at all, but I think they're going to be able to win this anyways. That's going to be overtime ticking down, and Pengu Squad holding out. 6-4 final score here for Dorado. They win it out 2-0 to move themselves on to the round of 8. Phenomenal performance by Pengu Squad there. Really, really good stuff to be able to take that one there. I mean, at the beginning, it didn't look like they were going to be able to make it. I mean, you know, it definitely looked like Makeway was going to be able to turn this back around and send us to a map number 3, but ultimately...
And again, you have Bubble Kitty with the play of the match. This guy has just been insane.
Every map!
King of the Hill and the payload map. Just doing work, but see, disregard the fact that he's a good player. You didn't see Makeway focusing the entire game. And it's something that they just look at that, just body shot after body shot.
Yeah, he's
going there with 27k damage. Wow, that is just impressive from Bubble Kitty. Props up to this guy. He's just coming along with his team, Pengu Squad, a team that I've never seen before, and they have really surpassed my expectations. Despite being familiarized with myself with the different indie teams out there, I think Pengu Squad could really be the up and coming players this time.
All right, so we are going to